Welcome to Athletes Unlimited Pro Softball, presented by the U.S. Air Force. The chase for the top spot heating up here at Parkway Bank Sports Complex with just 5 days remaining in the season. Week 4 rolls on. Day 2 as the fans fill this stadium to see all the stars in action. Team Faremo and Team Palacios kick off our doubleheader here. Couple of the top names on the leaderboard. We've already had movement in the top 4 in this week 4 after last night's openers, and it is Sachel Palacios going from 3rd to 2nd. But the big mover was Georgina Korich after a tremendous pitching performance, puts herself in the captain's chair as of now in that 4th spot. She would be a first-time captain, was stellar last night. Alongside the former 2-time National Player of the Year, Danielle Lawrie, I'm Chucky Kempf. Megan Faremo and company shut out last night, swept of all the win points. She needs the offense to get going today.
Well, especially when you only have 5 games left, I think the importance of really being able to perform well, but more importantly, win those innings, win those games, because if you don't, you are not moving up the leaderboard, and it's tough to be that top dog at the end.
She took a lot of hot hitters that were coming out of week 3 swinging a really good bat. One of them, Sierra Romero.
Yep.
We know how dangerous Sierra is when she gets going.
Well, and I love it, too. Last week, really hearing her dive deep into kind of changing up her swing a little bit and going back to her roots of what made her great when she played at Michigan. She said at times pressing a little bit, so changed up a couple different things to kind of bring that Wolverine flavor from her Michigan days where she was the National Player of the Year, and it has worked in her favor.
Yeah, top of the order, Megan Faremo making some changes up there. Sierra jumps into the top spot. Bates, McClenny, Palacios behind her. Sierra, the only player to hit multiple home runs in a series this season. Those came last week in week 3, and just haven't seen the long ball like we have in the first 4 years of this Athletes Unlimited Championship season. Mariah Masson will hope to continue that trend in the circle today, making her 3rd start of the year. She's 0-3 with a 4.04 ERA, but we've seen what she can do. She had the first complete game shutout in AUX history earlier this summer.
Well, and she has a lot of experience, and at this point, listen, it's a tough league. You're facing very hardcore, intense hitters that find ways to make adjustments, but it can just take one great performance to really put you in a position to move up that leaderboard and give your team the best chances to be successful. I mean, shoot, looking at Georgina Korich yesterday, that's a 240-point day for her as far as, you know, recording outs with +4, winning innings, winning that game, and then those MVP points were big for her.
First pitch from Masson down in the zone to Sierra Romero. At second base, this Bates in the 2-hole at shortstop. We've seen a lot of great kind of connections this week. You talked about the chemistry of teams being so important when you're drafting teams, especially late in the season. And some of these middle infields we've seen, Sierra and Sis connecting a couple times. Anissa Urtez and Aubrey Leach look like they've played years together. They're in the field right now behind Masson. Sierra takes that pitch for strike 1. 2-1 count to start things off. Megan Faremo's first week as a captain this season, but she was twice last year. 2-5 now is her career record as a captain. On the other side, Sachel Palacios in her first week ever, last week, went 3-0, and then already 1-0 this week. 2-2 inside, and Sierra with a nice at-bat to lead things off.
Well, and I do think that Sachel has done a great job of understanding that that chemistry is first and foremost. All of these women at this level are talented and can get the job done, but the connection on the field is so key. And I like her making that change and putting Sierra Romero in that leadoff spot, getting her more at-bats. She's seeing the ball well, good eye.
10 points on the walk for Sierra. How much are you asking your players, somebody like Sierra Romero who's played so long and maybe not always thought of as a leadoff hitter, are you asking her before you make that move into the leadoff spot, hey, are you comfortable there? Or are you just doing it?
I'm doing it. I mean, Sierra Romero is she's a gamer, right? Romo will go at any position you'd want her to. Obviously, she's the most successful when she's playing infield, but I think getting her more opportunities in leadoff spot only gives you more action to the rest of your offense. She can have those good quality at-bats. She'll see a lot of pitches. And then that kind of passes on to someone like Sis Bates, McClinney, Charlize.
Sis was cooled off last night, went 0 for 4 at the plate, and starts out with a ground out here, but basically a sacrifice on that ground out to Vidalis at first. 1 out. Really good pitching matchup in this first game. Mariah Masson going up against Megan Faremo. On the other side, Faremo needs a big day. After what happened last night, they were shut out 4-0, no win points. She threw 4 really good innings, but came out of the bullpen. Her team needs a dub today, and she needs one. She wants to be back in the captain's chair. She's in 8th place right now on the leaderboard. McClinney leans into it, into left field, tracked down by Zirkle, 2 outs.
And it felt like we saw yesterday the captains not starting themselves and losing games just because the game got away from them early, and you almost kind of put your team in a little bit of a hole. And that's not to say that the other pitchers can't do well, but I continue to keep going back to, you're in the captain's seat for a reason. So there's a good chance that you can win this thing. So why not put yourself out there to give yourself the best chance? And like I said to you earlier, before this game even starts, like, I'm okay with having a game plan and saying, I'm going to start myself every single game. I'm going to say, hey, good 4 quality innings, depending on the score. Have that plan to be able to bring someone in, but set the tone as the captain.
In the center, and Leah Andrews just glides over a few strides to make the catch. Leadoff walk comes to nothing. Masson puts up a 0 in the top half. Team Palacios hoping to start hot just like they did yesterday when they put up 5 runs in the bottom of the first inning. Sam Fisher was a big part of that. A 3-run shot, and a veteran in her final season, swinging a good bat this week.
Well, and these are the types of games that you want to go out having. You want to make an impact. You are that vet. But as much as the homer was great, that at-bat against Lexi Kilfoyle when she battled and hit that ball up the middle, which tied that ball game and put them in a position to be able to even out. There was 40 win points on the line there. That's a lot, and that can shift some things. So I think that was probably the most clutch thing that I saw her do yesterday, and that's why she earned herself that MVP 1.
She is down in the 7 spot in the order. 2 for 3, a homer, 4 RBIs, Wiggins and Zirkle behind her. That's a good bottom 3. Pretty good top 3 as well. Aubrey Leach and Aaliyah Andrews, Erin Koffel in the 3-hole. And Leach swinging first pitch, base hit. She is just unstoppable right now. 8-game hit streak for Aubrey Leach. Trying to rattle Megan Faremo, who came in out of the bullpen yesterday. 4 innings, just 1 hit, 1 run. It was not earned. Walked 1 and struck out 5. She is one of the elite pitchers right now in the game.
And I feel like at times what you're seeing is these leadoff hitters, 1-2 punch, really are 1-2 punches. They've worked really well together, and you see that right out of the gate against Faremo with Aubrey Leach swinging early on in the count, knowing, hey, she's successful when she gets ahead of those hitters. 35 innings pitched so far in the championship season. And listen, I'm going to say it. I'm so proud of Megan Faremo for being a captain. She started out week 1 going 0-2, and that's hard to come back from. It's almost like you fall behind in the points department. And it's not that she didn't pitch well. It was just all of a sudden she gave up that solo shot to Kelsey Harshman and lost. But for her to be able to continue to keep, like she said, she had to verbalize it and put it out there. Hey, these games happen. It is what it is. And every weekend has just been trucking along and getting better and better. She's playing her best softball right now.
Yeah, it'll really good. Her last 3 appearances, 2-0, 13 2/3. That ERA much lower. And then last night, she just got in a groove right out of the gates when she came into the game.
Well, and to me, it's her energy and how contagious that part of her game is. When she strikes people out, you can just feel it. And that's the stuff that I'm talking about. When you start ball games, your teammates feel that, but absolutely on point yesterday with that curveball to the hard stuff, to climbing the ladder upstairs. She was fun to watch.
Well, 2028, still a little bit away, but there's a good chance I think you'll see Megan Faraimo as one of the primary pitchers on that Team USA. Who knows? Just already have seen that from her for Team USA at the WBSC World Cup Finals this summer through 13 and 2/3 innings pitched. That led the way for Team USA, 2-0 with a 2.05 ERA and 18 strikeouts. It's Koffel to swing through that, 2 outs.
I actually heard she's got a little Canadian in her, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
2028 off speed, and this was the pitch that was working so well yesterday, but the location of this pitch at the count that she's throwing it, to me, is what stands out. Respecting these are such good hitters, getting them to chase when they need to.
Vidalis on the first pitch, Leach rounding third. The throw home is a little bit wide, Leach scores. Tori Vidalis comes through. 10-inning win points for everybody on Team Palacios as they take the early lead. Don't count Tori out yet either, because she is tied for 5th.
Well, and this is a first pitch swinging situation yet again. You saw Aubrey Leach do that in the leadoff spot, and that's information that someone like Tori Vidalis can pick up on. I think this is so clutch to be able to do this, especially with the momentum that you're seeing someone like Megan Faraimo and what she can get. Big time ups for Tori.
Couple players up there in the top 4 right now that we've seen new captains, it seems like, all year long, but Tori, who will be tied for 5th place after this inning comes to a close. Megan Wiggins is in 7th, and Georgina Koric, we mentioned off the top of the show, is in 4th. I'm all about the new captains. I just love to see the different strategies.
And I think it could be unique going into week 5, which is completely slew of new captains. You're for sure going to get a couple repeaters. I think someone like Amanda Loren stands out to me that's going to be in the driver's seat, and if Sachelle can continue to keep performing the way that she has. But I think there's 2 spots that are up for grabs.
Ooh, Sachelle, that was up and in. Would love to come through right here. She's just done it because she's won. She's 9-1 on the season, which is absurd.
Yeah.
4-0 as a captain, and her team is up front early. She's got a good team, a deep pitching staff. We saw Alyssa Denham, Taylor McQuillan, and Valerie Cagle last night. Masson is feeling fresh today and off to a good start. You would imagine Taylor McQuillan gets the start tomorrow for her on Sunday. Her sister behind the plate right now, trying to find a way to get the veteran Sachelle Palacios out. Ground ball right side, that will do it. But 1 run comes across. Aubrey Leach gets on base. That's just what she does, and Vidalis brings her in. Athletes Unlimited Pro Softball is sponsored by the U.S. Air Force. All smiles for Sam Fisher last night. That 3-run home run. Georgina Koric had a great performance as well in the circle. We'll see Sarah Willis today in Game 2. Gets the start for Team Kilfoyle. Now, we have had a blast all season here in Rosemont. The 5th ever Athletes Unlimited Championship season. Today, tomorrow, and then next weekend before we crown the 5th ever champion. A couple of them are here. Odyssey Alexander won the championship season last year. Alicia Ocasio won it in 2021. But as it stands, it looks likely that we will have another new champion. Have not had a repeat yet. Pitch misses inside. This was Claire Davidson leading things off for Team Faremo. 5-6-7 against Masson here in the second. Davidson 1 for 3 last night. Puts a charge into this one to right field. Wiggins goes back to the track and makes the grab. A long-time vet still has the range.
Yeah, it's a good grab by Megan Wiggins. Good piece by Claire Davidson. Morning track all day. Wiggins tracks it down. Gets that lead out from Ryan Masson.
Jesse Warren with one away. Takes that first pitch inside corner, strike one. Warren, the former Florida State star, and falls behind 0-2 now from Tampa, Florida. She finished second in the inaugural season in 2020, hit .510 with 5 home runs and 15 RBIs. She's won 3 straight Defensive Player of the Year awards, back-to-back the last 2 AUX seasons and then last championship season. Masson working ahead again. 1-2 to Warren. After a leadoff walk, she's retired 4 straight. Inside, Warren. Really nice piece of hitting right there for the single.
It's a good job by Jesse Warren. 2-2 count, works it. Some good heat in on the hands, jammed up maybe just a little bit, but man, her hands through the zone so quick. Barrels it right back up the middle.
She was 0 for 2 last night, so that one's got to feel good. Setting her team up here with 1 out. Rachel Garcia at the plate takes strike 1. An old Pac-12 matchup here, and unfortunately won't be able to say that anymore, really.
R.I.P.
I know. Oregon State and UCLA.
They figured out where Oregon State's going yet?
I don't know.
Not to call you out, but
yeah,
I feel like
Maybe
I should know too.
Yeah. Vidalis on the move. Ortez back to first. Leach couldn't get there in time. 2 outs.
And this to me is really the only play for Tori Vidalis. Her momentum's taken her that way. Aubrey Leach tries to hustle over. Gosh, Anissa Ortez, she just has such a cannon.
She was good last night at shortstop too, and it was actually the play that stands out to me most was the one where she was in the 5-6 hole and caught Skylar Wallace off guard and went to third behind the runner, and it actually saved a run in that game. Josie Muffley is running at first base for Garcia. Andrea Filler is at the plate. Still looking to get her back going right now. Had a big opportunity with the bases loaded last night. She had a good summer with Italy at the World Cup. Hit 400, a double, a home run, 3 RBIs. Her best finish was 7th. That was in 2022 in San Diego at AUX. That was actually her debut season for Athletes Unlimited. Played 3 years in the Italian Pro League as well. 2-0 inside. You ever get to go to Italy to play?
Not to play.
Okay.
No. We went there, my husband and I, last June. It was beautiful. Went to Sicily, but not to play softball.
Okay. Where's your favorite place you've ever played?
Japan and Australia, both were pretty beautiful to play.
Ortiz handles it. We'll talk more geography, I'm sure, as the weekend goes on. Another 0 for Mariah Masson, 1-0 Team Palacios. But first, let's go into the game with Andrea Filler in the U.S. Air Force.
Love you guys. Woo. What's your name?
Leah.
Leah, nice to meet you. Hi, what's your name? Sophia. I love your glasses. They're so cute. What position are you? All right. You have a favorite player?
No.
Maybe Sis Bates. She's a pretty good shortstop.
Yes.
She's a shortstop for the purple team today. Bye, you guys. Have fun today. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Sis Bates is a good one.
Yeah. I'd probably just throw my name in the mix and see if they knew that that was me standing next to them. Like, what about Andrea Filler? She's pretty good, too.
She's a stud. Yeah, okay.
It's actually me. Nice to meet you.
Andrea playing first base. She is really one of the ultimate utilities. We've seen her, I feel like, over the years at every infield position. I don't think she's caught or pitched, but we've seen her at all 4 of the other spots on the infield. This is Anissa Ortiz at the plate. 0 for 2 last night, but drove in a run and scored twice. Hey, look who it is. Andrea Filler in foul territory, 1 out. The 1 run in the game. Aubrey Leach after her leadoff single off Faremo. Vidalis brought her around. Now Faremo trying to settle in here. We could go for some rollover points. Let's take it to the, let's take it to the 6 or 7. Those are my favorite ones.
Put some donuts up on the board. Let's make it interesting. 40, 50 points.
Yeah, and especially in a 1-run game, because it's really, at that point you're also playing for the game too. So it's like it's a 100-point, 110-point inning potentially. Sam tripled her RBI total for the season last night. Had 2 coming into last night's game, 4 thanks to her 3-run home run, and then driving in that run later to carry over the win points. Grounds out here, 2 quick outs for Faremo. Team Palacios has been quick starters this week. 6 first-run innings. 5 yesterday, 1 today. Now Megan Wiggins with 2 outs. Wiggins drove in a big run yesterday, had a really nice at-bat to do so. One count.
It actually ended up putting her in that MVP too, with just quality eye that she was able to have and good at-bat. And those types of performances get rewarded because they can change the direction of a game.
That's why she's where she is on the leaderboard now, up in 7th place. A lot of win points, some stat points, and the MVP points helping her out last night. A little bit of everything. 2-2 count. Wiggins looking for her best ever championship finish and rips that up the middle. She's just had some quality at bats this weekend. That's 10 points on the single.
Megan Framo, this is an off-speed pitch. She throws it at 2-2, just a little bit elevated. You see Megan Wiggins' body slightly fooled, but hands back. Quick hands through the zone, explosive. It's a good job with that changeup.
Out of the woods yet with Morgan Zirkle at the plate in the top of the order looming to face Framo. Zirkle in her 5th year out of Milton, West Virginia. She's a member of the 100 Hit Club, and she was the first player to reach 100 career games. She's the only player. She puts a charge into this one over McClenny in center. It's down, extra bases. Zirkle headed for 3rd, and she's going to leg out an RBI triple. The only player to play in every Athletes Unlimited season to this point. A big swing from Morgan Zirkle.
Well, this ball carried quick, and you see Haley McClenny, her first step, she does come in, but listen, that whole field is the toughest to play here in Rosemont with this wind. It's constantly swirling around out there. Wiggins has wheels, gets all the way home. Another run up on the board here for Team Palacios. And another inning won. It's 20 points so far through the first 2 innings for everyone on the team. You don't see triples happen often.
No. Zirkle, the head coach now, still has the wheels. And the pop, too. I mean, all these... I feel like we're done with the only slapper lefties now. I mean, they all seem like they can do a little bit of everything. You go from Zirkle to Leach to Aaliyah Andrews here.
That's dangerous. It's like a 3-headed monster.
Oh,
I don't
man.
know.
And with Wiggins in the 8-hole, it's 4 lefties in a row to face off with Megan Framo,
whose bread and butter pitch is her curveball. So the comfort level for her has to be still being able to establish that inner half with that pitch in on the left-handed hitter's hands. At times she'll favor that outside part of the plate a little bit, but oh, that's a good pitch. I think that's strike 3, Chucky.
Megan Framo agreed with you. She said, okay. 3-2. Leach does fight that one off. Didn't want to take a chance on it again. Aubrey hitting just a tick under 400 for the season.
There it is. That's a good pitch by Framo. That curveball in on the hands. Wondering if she could sneak that changeup. We haven't seen her throw it. She could throw it down in the zone. Catch her on her toes.
Pitch number 8. Ground ball smothered by Warren. Throw from her knees. There's the Jessie Warren we know over at third base, making a nice play to potentially save a run over there at third. But there is another one across. Morgan Zirkle, an RBI triple. Two 2-0, good start for Team Palacios. They've collected all 20 inning win points as we go to the 3rd. Megan Wiggins out in right field has had a busy day so far, shown off the glove a little bit.
Flashing a little leather, seen it.
And we kept the glasses on today. Yesterday, we're going to ask her about the glasses in a second, but nice catch. And then the at-bat right now, and it's been all weekend, some good ABs.
Yeah, and I mean, she's still rounding the bases like back in her Georgia days. I don't know if she feels that way, but...
Well, Megan, how do you feel? Do you still feel like you're 20 years old?
I don't know. It's been so long since I felt like that. Since I was actually 20.
Hey, how about the glasses? Are these new glasses from yesterday?
No, they are salvaged. I don't know how, but one of our tremendous helpers, our shaggers that they have around the field, I don't know. At the end of the game, it was back. They were back in one piece. I'm not entirely sure they're mine, but they look exactly like mine.
You were pretty upset about it. You laid out for it, and then I remember you just throwing the glasses on the ground like, I'm over it.
Oh, throw to second. And that is the wind that you were talking about a second ago, Danielle. How big of a factor is that wind, Megan? I mean, it seems like it's always, you played a lot of games here in Rosemont. How big of an issue is it?
I think right now that might have been the sun, but wind and sun, I mean, weather is always a big thing. You just got to make sure you communicate with everybody around you to know that if the ball goes up, help, and just kind of like migrate towards the ball so somebody's there if it doesn't get caught in the air. But I think that one might have been the sun, which I'm thankful for right now today because it's not in front of my eyeballs right yet. But come 4:35, we might be having a different conversation.
Top of the order, Sierra Romero takes that pitch inside. Megan, just talk to us about, there's so many new players this year. For you as a veteran hitter, seeing some of these new pitchers, how do you collect that information early in the season to kind of get up to speed on them?
You talk to everybody. I mean, you have people who literally played with them their last college season. You have people who played with them in college a couple years ago. And you have people who just are avid sports fans that watch college, which is all of us, you know, at some point. So just trying to be a sponge, getting to know some of the newer pitchers. But then also week to week, you don't forget. You don't forget what they threw, what you got out on, how you did off of them. I always think as a hitter, it's always like an extra benefit. Because if you get out on a changeup, a pitcher's going to remember, and they think that you can't hit changeups, and then they pitch another changeup in week 4, or something like that, and you're already making week 4 adjustments. So I always think it's an advantage to make sure you can recall and remember, and just continue to make adjustments throughout the season. So.
Do you guys have that type of information at your disposal, like the videos on all these games, if you want to go back and watch? Like, what is your post-game routine look like, good or bad game? Is there something in particular you like to do to go back on the games?
Yeah, I mean, we get, a couple highlights. Hold on a sec. Woo!
Oh, still got the cannon on the money.
Not going. Hold on, guys. Let me go catch this ball and throw it to 4 before I respond to it. Yeah, I think we have access to, obviously our highlights via Twitter and stuff like that, but we get to go back and look at the game footage and kind of, we can look at our at-bats. I like to do that, just how'd I miss this ball, what I got, what was the pitch sequence, stuff like that. So, especially if it's like a good home run or something, I like to go back and watch that a couple of times before the next game.
Of course. Hey, we also saw you, and I didn't realize you were doing it until I was prepping for a Georgia game this year, but we saw you in the broadcast booth for some of the Georgia games. How'd you like that?
Yeah, I thought it was great. Obviously super familiar with Georgia and being at their field, and I've been following a lot of their players for pretty much their entire career now. So I felt pretty comfortable, talking about them and talking about Georgia. But obviously it's a different experience and a new experience, and I enjoyed it, learning a lot. The partner that I was working with, he's phenomenal. But definitely a lot of preparation goes into it, and you want to make sure that you're educated on, both sides of the ball, and, and I'm sure you guys know, like picking up just fun facts and stats and different things like that. As a viewer, I like to hear that, so I try really hard to kind of bring the important info out, and, kind of just let the game play and comment, what I thought on all the games and what was happening in them.
Just foul on the first baseline.
Looking at your pro career over the 14 years, I mean, you're looking at Haley McClinney, who's hanging him up this year. You're looking at Sam Fisher. Like, for you, is it based on your body and how that feels? Like, how does a decision like that come to light when you've been continuing to play so well going into year 14?
That's a good question. I think, it's a constant thing I'm, thinking about, not in a bad way. I think there's just a lot of things, but, I'm at a point in my life where there's not anything stopping me from playing or influencing me not to play. So it's solely going to be based off kind of what I want and how I feel. And, sometimes it's easy to feel like maybe I should retire, or, you know, if I'm going through a bad streak, I'm not hitting the ball, or I feel, you know, kind of out of whack a little bit. But then you get to play on a team like this one, and you're just uplifted, and, you know, you have some successes, and it feels like I could play another 15, 20 years, you know. And I think that's just a part of the game. The game's hard. So body-wise, I mean, if I can stay in shape and get to a point where I can still run from first to home and score, I think I'll be doing all right and beat out infield singles. But yeah, it's a constant. Leah, out of bed. It's just a constant question. I mean, it's something that I think about. It's very fluid. After one game, I'm like, dang, I should retire maybe. And then after last night's game, I'm like, heck no, I'm not retiring. This is fun, you know. And I think it's a very conditional question, I'm sure you know. And people have always said, when you know, and I don't think I know yet. So, you know, day in and day out.
What is something that you wish over the last couple of years that you would have known earlier on in your pro career that you know now that you've been doing it for as long as you have?
You know, I mean, it's fun to like feel like you want all the answers at the beginning, but I think the beautiful thing about playing a sport is I'm still learning things about myself. I'm still unlocking things that I can improve on. You know, without what I did early in my career, I wouldn't be here. Or have the ability to recognize, hey, I need to work on this, but I'm also really great at this. So I think it just comes with, you know, when you do something for so long, it's a constant, you know, you're growing, you're learning, you're finding different ways to continue to be successful. And yeah, I don't want all the answers to the test because that's no fun, you know, and I think that's part of being challenged, especially as a veteran. You come in with people who've been playing softball for 4 years straight. And for some of us, it takes a couple more games to get back into game shape. And I think it's a part of what I love about this sport and being a professional and being a veteran.
I mean, if it's a math test, I want all the answers.
Yeah.
Softball.
Take a test, and I'm certainly not going back to school, so.
That's good to know. So we know that's not in the future of Megan Wiggins, but hopefully a lot more softball. Thanks, Megan. Team Ferramo gets on the board 2-1, though. Team Palacio still out in front going to the bottom of the third here in Rosemont. Season 5 is here and in progress. The AU Pro Shop has you covered. All the latest softball gear. Check out our online store at shop.auprosports.com. It's the destination for player merchandise and exclusive styles you won't find anywhere else.
That In My Softball era is cute with the pink.
Yeah.
They hit up the store later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
I like shopping.
I know you do.
All right, Megan Ferramo now down just 1, facing 2, 3, and 4 here in the third inning. Aaliyah Andrews to lead things off. Grounded out to Jessie Warren in the first. Lets that pitch go. How are you throwing these lefties? Like, what's your ideal pitch sequence to a lefty like Aaliyah Andrews?
I want to start them in to go away, so I'd be heavy on the hands right away. I just don't want them to get their barrel extended. I want to jam them up and make them feel uncomfortable to then be able to utilize the outer half to try to beat them again back in. But it's all based on how they approach you too and the adjustments that they're able to make. But ideally, that's how I would start them. Probably a couple back-to-back curveballs, high 60s in. See if you can get a chase, change up away, maybe climb the ladder up and in and see what they do.
Koffel takes that off the hand or wrist. 8 points on the hit by pitch with 1 out for Koffel, but a painful one.
Don't you feel like the hit by pitch should be plus 10 points? You know,
same
like,
as walk, yeah.
I mean, ouch. You're getting less points and a boo-boo. It just doesn't feel good.
She's been hit 7 times. She got hit yesterday, too. 7 times this season. Now Tori Vidalis, an RBI single to her name already today. Back to the pitch. We're talking about with the lefties. Like, when did you start thinking that way as a pitcher? When did that start? You start to grasp those types of approaches more than just, hey, catcher called this, I'm throwing it.
Yeah, that's a good question because the generations have changed so much. Where in college, you're seeing a lot more coaches call games. I would say probably my freshman year in college, Yves Gaw was our pitching coach at the time, and we called our own games. And I think it was the research you do pregame and the day before, you have to think for yourself. And it was a love-hate with it, right? When I was with the national team, the catcher always called the game, so I kind of would always just, all right, she's the older vet, I'll go with it. But in college, we had so much information at our fingertips that it came down to, at times, that gut feeling of what you want to throw in the moment. And I do feel like at times the rookies have a tough time transitioning to the professional game with that piece. And why I'm a big fan of Charlize Palacios, because when she was at UCLA, she would call her own games for the pitchers. And I appreciated that part of the game because you didn't see it as much.
Yeah, much easier transition for her. Not easy, but more natural transition for her. Working with a former college teammate for 1 year at UCLA with Faremo in the circle. And in a little trouble here. A hit by pitch and a walk with 1 out. And now the captain, Sachel Palacios. Line shot fouled on the left field line. Sachel could simply just continue doing what she's done all season long, which is win, and very well be crowned the champion in her final season as a pro. The stat and MVP points would just be icing on the cake for her, and this would be one of those situations she could be considered if she can come through.
When I put Sachel Palacios up there with Amanda Lorenz and her ability to draft these teams that can come together and just have this, you know, good chemistry and playing the game, having fun, laughing, I think that's a key component. And why I'm a big fan of always watching like the Little League World Series when, you know, Greenville for softball, and how I have it up in the booth right now for Little League Baseball. Like, these kids are having so much fun. And I think when you can go back to that part, because sometimes being a pro, it's stressful. You're expected to perform well when you don't, but when you can go back and have fun, it sounds cliche, but you started playing this game because you loved it and it was fun. So if you take that piece away, the older you get, it makes it seem more like a tough job instead of just playing softball.
Fighting off 2 strike pitches right now. Another 0-2 on the way from Faremo. There's ball 1. Charlize and Sachel were finally united last week. Sachel taking her early in that draft, but didn't get the chance this week because Megan Faremo took her with the 1st overall pick. This could be Sachel's revenge right here. Oh, you want to take my sister from me?
But I get why she did. The history that they had at UCLA together, but more importantly, how she's been performing. Like, she's a top draft for me.
1-2, and Sachel sticks with the inside pitch, foul ball. Good AB for the veteran from Arizona State, from San Diego, California. 8th pitch coming, 7 foul balls in this at bat.
I'm bouncing a change.
Okay.
But these are the ups that someone like Sachel has been able to have. She's just good at seeing a lot of pitches, fouling off pitches that are close that she doesn't want.
Another foul ball. She gives lessons in the offseason back in her hometown. She started to love distance running. She signed up for a half marathon in November.
Bounce it.
Yes.
Fighting over that one.
To find a way there. I'm not sure if that adds up. Getting through that net. 1-2 off the end of the bat. Faremo wins the battle for out number 2. feel good as I mean, obviously you feel good. You got an out as a pitcher, but is that more of like a deep breath, like, okay, got that one over with finally?
Sometimes that feels just as good as a strikeout because you've been battling. She saw how many pitches and you were able to get that little bloop to third base. That's a strikeout looks better, but those feel just as equal because you won the battle.
Now facing Anissa Urtez, 2 on, 2 outs, outside throw behind Vidalis, and they got her. Tori lost her footing. Charlize Palacios. Nice little pick.
He's keeping Tori Vidalis honest there at first. Oh man, she slipped. Got her. Dang, she tried hard.
Another good one here in week 4 so far. 1-run game going to the 4th inning. A bit of a pitcher's duel between Mariah Masson and Megan Faremo to this point. Masson's lone run she gave up came last inning. The first win points going the other direction for Team Faremo. That's the first 10 they've had all weekend. Their first run. The 1.5 games they've played so far. Masson facing the heart of this order, 5, 6, 7. Davidson, Warren, Garcia due up. Davidson flew out to Megan Wiggins to the warning track her last time up. I always love when we get to chat with Megan Wiggins because she has such a unique perspective, having played professionally for now 14 seasons. And on the flip side, you've got players like Claire Davidson at the plate in her first professional season. That's in there for a strike. 1-2 count for Masson. Davidson lunged a little bit, but held off. Two. Claire Davidson was quite the musician when she was younger. Played piano and violin and saxophone.
Wow.
Like some unique instruments. I mean, the piano is one thing, but violin and saxophone?
The answer is no, if you're wondering if I...
If you've been musical in your life. Hopped up, and there's that sun, a problem for Urtez, who ends up on a knee to make the catch. It kind of got brighter as that ball was in the air. Only experience AU Pro Softball in person. You can see what the sun's like here in Rosemont. Tomorrow is our Pride and Allyship Impact Day, featuring an AU Progress Pride Flag giveaway for the first 250 fans. Go to auprosoftball.com to buy your tickets today. Jessie Warren now at the plate, takes that pitch outside. She had a really good at bat back in the second, ended up singling. Puts a charge in this to right field. Wiggins, the ball tailing, 2 outs.
That has to feel good if you're Mariah Masson. Just those quick innings feel good. Gets your team back in the dugout, try to get something going.
And now would love to retire Garcia in the same fashion. Get her team back to the plate, looking for some insurance. Nice location on the inside corner. Interesting just to see the little adjustments. Last time Rachel Garcia came to the plate, Masson started her out on the outside corner. This time goes to the inside corner. Off speed, hits softly at Leach. 1-2-3 inning there for Mariah Masson. She looks really good today.
2-2 pitch from Faremo. Got her.
Faremo, the fist pump after the strikeout. She is nasty.
Goes down swinging. Back-to-back Ks for Faremo.
She steps up when the game is on the line.
When I strike out a batter, I get very emotional and very hype. And so to describe that feeling is just that, all the fire. It takes so much work. It takes so many hours and pitches just to throw a strike, a good strike. So when I get a hitter out, especially in this league, it is like all of that work paying off in that one moment, and I just feel all of those emotions, and I can't help myself but let it show on the field.
I love the passion, the energy she plays with in the circle. Threw a no-hitter last year. That was an awesome feat and so much fun to watch her in the circle. This is how her points have come. 306 stat points, 120 MVP points, and the most is almost always going to be in that win category with 600. Would love to add to that total today. She's jumped up 10 spots. She's back into 8th place today. Started the weekend 4th. So still some more work to do, but that climb has begun, and you never know, could see her tomorrow start the game as well. Ortez, Fisher, Wiggins due up this inning for Team Palacios against Faremo. This is into shallow right center. Ball just being pushed by the wind further to Davidson. Let's check in with Savannah with more on Megan Faremo.
Yeah, this isn't her first go-round as a captain, but it is the first time this season, and she's doing a couple things differently. She talked about last year how when she stepped into this role, she almost gave herself really strict parameters and plans in the draft throughout the week, and she really came in with a more flexible mindset when it came to putting together this group. And then another thing she noticed was at her practices. She said, these are the fastest practices I've ever had. And for a second, she wondered, am I doing enough? Am I doing something wrong? But she thinks it really attributes to the leaders that she has on her team. This is a group that comes in, gets their work done, and goes home. And she really wanted a group of people who are going to be cohesive. But my favorite thing that she did at those practices was she had, when they took BP, all of her athletes do it in the batting order, so that while you were taking those BP sessions, you were beside the same people you were going to be with in the lineup. And it's something she's never tried before, but she really wanted these hitters to come in and feel more settled. So just trying to find some ways to create that cohesion that was a priority for her this week.
I like that. I have never actually thought about doing that, like batting the BP, the lineup, but when she talks about like these practices are quick and they're efficient, at this point you don't need those long, lengthy practices, right? Like these women know what they need. They've been playing softball, shoot, a lot of them since AUX in the training period that they went through to get themselves prepped and ready for that. So it's more so about those really efficient practices when you're getting some good stuff done, communicating on the little things, right? Like firsts and thirds and the stuff that when you're with the team all year long, you know those ins and outs. So I like hearing that. You don't really want to get out of your game plan or try to be any different.
We've seen some issues this year at times too, with a lot of times it's been on defensive plays, whether it's who's covering second on this play or the first and third, what we're going to do. And we've seen some miscues that have led to some runs. Faremo looking to go 1-2-3. 1-2 count against Megan Wiggins. Wiggins lays off that one. Hadn't had a 1-2-3 inning before Masson did it in the top of the 4th, so Faremo trying to go back-to-back here. Ground ball, this could do it to Sis Bates. And it is back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for these two pitchers. Still 2-1. We're going to the 5th. 2-1 and some rollover inning points for the first time in this game. We're in the 5th. This is worth 20 points for whoever can win this inning or any of the future innings until these points stop rolling over. And we have a new pitcher in the circle. It is Valerie Cagle, who we saw yesterday close the door against Team Kilfoyle and pick up the save. Went 1 inning, gave up just 1 hit. And really good stuff out of the bullpen. It's the only role we've seen her in this year, Danielle. It's her 8th appearance, but overall, she's had a good rookie season.
Yeah, and she's someone that's comfortable coming into the games, not starting games. You're seeing her come in and pull that, hey, we need 3 outs from you. That's it. So it's been cool to see her make that adjustment from her Clemson days to maybe not getting the ball nearly as much as she did when she was playing for Clemson, but being able to still be efficient with her arsenal, come in to try to shut the door, just getting 3 outs.
She has 21 career Clemson records. That's a young program. She was a part of it from basically the beginning, from the first season. Those 21 records are not just pitching, but a lot of hitting records as well. 66 career home runs. 4-time All-American, 3 straight first-team nods. One-two outside. She's working against Filler here, who's 0 for 1 today. Filler, DeBoard, Romero due up this inning for Team Faremo. Filler swings through it. Strikeout to start things off for Cagle.
This is just NSYNC style, dirty drop. It's a tough pitch.
Come on.
I mean, you ain't touching that, right?
Yeah.
You got to be able to take that. Just goes to show how deceptive that pitch looks as a hitter.
Ground ball, Ortez smothers it. Too much speed from DeBoard. It's an infield single, but still a nice glove out there by Anissa Ortez. We've got the starting pitcher, Mariah Masson, who went 4 really good innings, allowed just the 1 run. Mariah, you've been around a while now, and a lot of these hitters have seen you a ton. How do you make adjustments? How do you keep them off balance and put together a performance like this?
Yeah, I think just kind of trusting my stuff. You know, they know what I throw, so just working different zones, as in throwing my drop ball maybe a little bit lower, a little bit more out, and just trusting that, you know, me and Sashel are working together and getting it done.
What is like a pre-game when you know you're getting the ball and you're starting? Are you someone that sits down and watches video? Do you communicate with the catcher before? Are you someone that does that big throughout the game? How does that look on your end?
This morning I actually walked Aaron Koffel's dog. I did like an hour walk with him and then just stretched a little bit, and I think I already think so much in my head, so I just kind of tried to stay out of softball for my morning, and me and Sash just talked a little bit, like when I was warming up in the bullpen, about what was working, what we were going to go with. But yeah, for the most part, I don't watch any film. I like barely watch film in college also, so just sticking with that ride of doing anything but softball in the morning, kind of just like relaxing myself and grounding myself to go into start.
Mariah, I think you have one of the coolest journeys to the pro game. You get done with Oregon State, you're sitting at home, you get a call to fill in at AUX a couple of years in San Diego. I just have to ask you, because now you have become one of the best pitchers in the league. What did you think you were going to be doing? Did you think your playing career was over?
I actually was supposed to go play in Italy for one of those teams over there, and then Sam Fisher texted Coach Berg, and Coach Berg was like, hey, do you want to go play? And I was like, yeah. I got in my car like 2 hours later and drove to San Diego, and it was the best decision of my life. I love it here.
Hey, we are so happy to have you. Congrats on a great performance. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, guys.
I am Masson, who came to fill in. There was an injury in 2022 in San Diego, and I told this story a number of times, but I just think it's incredible. She drove up to San Diego that day, about 2-3 hour drive from her home in California, and first pitch she threw was to Tori Vidalis, who hit it over the wall, and then ever since then, she has been one of the best pitchers in the league. Tori was her roommate, too, as they get the out right that. And Valerie Cagle picks up right where Masson left off. Good pitching performance from Team Palacios. 2-1, those 20 points up for grabs here. 1 run for Team Palacios would give them that and some insurance in this game against Team Faremo here on day 2 of week 4 as the leaderboard continues to move around a little bit. How about Tori Vidalis up into the top 3 now, putting herself into a captain's chair potentially for the draft on Monday. Georgina Korek, who started the day in 4th, has dropped 1 spot below that cut line of who will be drafting their own teams. And as of right now, it would be 3 of the same 4 for the 3rd straight week with Lorenz Palacios and Kilfoyle. If you want to see how these teams get drafted, tune in Monday at 1 Eastern. The final draft of the season hosts Savannah Collins and Kat Osterman, who was the first ever Athletes Unlimited champion. For more details, follow us on social at auprosports.com. It kind of becomes like your group for the week. I mean, the people that you were hanging out with this week and around all the time at practice and in games and kind of on the same schedule as completely changes week to week. Faremo looking for a 3rd straight 0 against Team Palacios. She just hasn't had the run support this weekend. That's just when she's pitching. They've only scored 1 run now in 12 innings. Which I think we would have been surprised by that. Maybe by any lineup in the league, but the way Sis Bates and Sierra Romero and Charlize Palacios have been swinging it, I don't think you would have imagined that a team with those 3 at the top of the order would have only scored 1 run at this point.
I think there's something to be said, too, when it comes to pitchers really being able to buckle down when there is that pressure, when runners get on base, being able to rise to the occasion.
Back to Faremo. 1 out. That was Zirkle who had the RBI triple earlier in the game. Back to the top with Aubrey Leach. Fouled straight back by Aubrey, strike 1. Played her college ball at Tennessee, now has twin sisters there who just completed their freshman seasons. About to start their sophomore years, Alana and Gabby. Lets that pitch go outside for ball 1. Aubrey is a GA for that program the last few years, got the chance to coach her little sisters. I'd be curious to see that relationship because Aubrey, she gives me, like, as a coach, I feel like she'd be pretty intense.
Big time. I feel like she would be tough as nails in the best way.
And if you can go to law school, graduate from law school while being a member of the softball program as a GA, she's also really into CrossFit. We've asked her about her schedule before, and it is, oh man. I don't think she sits down. That's the one thing she doesn't have in her schedule. Two-two count. Lets it go. I don't think she went. She didn't. Close. You wanted the strike, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. I'm not saying that I think she went. I mean, all right, maybe.
3-2, slap left side, Warren. Really nice job by Jessie Warren. She's retired Leach twice now.
And we're seeing the top of the order kind of be handled a little bit differently than yesterday. You're seeing the pressure that they can apply, but just being able to make the bang bang play and not let the speed of someone like Aubrey Leach get in the way. Jessie Warren's made some great plays at third base.
And now it's Jordan Roberts at the plate. Her first action of the weekend in the batter's box. Played her college ball at Florida. Swings through the first pitch for strike one from Faremo. Roberts actually played when she was in high school, the travel ball team with Alicia Ocasio and Amanda Lorenz, or excuse me, Gwen Svekis and Alicia Ocasio. High fly ball to right field. Davidson has it. 1-2-3 inning for Faremo. Back to back. She's retired 7 straight. Oh, great day to be at the ballpark here in Rosemont, and we've got quite a game here. 30 rollover inning points on the line, going to the 6th. Team Faremo down 1 run to Team Palacios, but they are coming to the plate here to face off with Valerie Cagle. And don't forget, one more game coming up, Team Kilfoyle and Team Lorenz. And these games just start to mean more and more. That's Sydney Romero there on the left, getting ready to go for Team Lorenz. That could be a big one too for Lexi Kilfoyle. She's in a good spot right now. She's in 3rd, but another loss today would potentially see her jumped by Georgina Korick and also Alicia Ocasio, as this is up the middle and Ortez can't run it down. Wouldn't have gotten McClenny anyway. It's a base hit to lead things off for Haley. Also going to be a lot of movement in this game based on the winner. Sachel currently in 2nd, Faremo in 8th. I would think Megan Faremo, win or lose, could have some MVP points coming her way the way she's thrown today. McClenny's in 11th place right now. She could climb her way up the leaderboard as well. But it's Amanda Lorenz on top. And it's going to be tough to stop her the way she's been swinging the bat this season. And you talked a lot about Amanda, like she seems to be the one in the driver's seat more than just the fact that she's in 1st right now, but she's getting it done in so many different ways. She can do it with the stat points. Like her team could lose, but she could still go hit one over the wall and kind of help herself out enough. But she's also been really good as a captain.
Yeah, I think her in-game management has been really good, and she's gotten a couple repeat players. I think that's really key to be able to get some from last week to this week that are gelling well together. I think about up the middle with Hannah Flippin and Kelsey Harshman and how well they're playing together and communicating.
I don't think this is going to be decided before. I do feel like this is going to the final day.
Ooh. It's a big statement.
I think that's, we had it last year. It was kind of the first as the championship season goes on, it really coming down to the wire like that with Alyssa Denham and Odyssey Alexander. But just get the feeling that's what's going to happen this year based on what we've seen. Charlize Palacios walk. She was 0 for 4 this weekend coming into that at bat. 1st and 2nd, though, with nobody out. McQuillan out there in the bullpen warming up. We saw her and relief 3 innings yesterday. Gave up 8 hits, but just 3 runs. Team Palacios over Team Kilfoyle yesterday, 8-5. Took 110 of a possible 120 win points in that game. Big moment here for Claire Davidson.
And I think the importance of being able to sacrifice yourself in a moment like this, you do get rewarded for that sack. It's +10, but you want to move those runners. You want to put 2 in scoring position to give yourself that go-ahead run.
Team Veremo 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position at the plate. This is an ACC matchup. Davidson out of Duke, Cagle from Clemson. She's got the orange on in the circle. You got to think this just gives her the little boost. She's got the Clemson colors on. 1-2, Davidson stays alive. Tying run on second base. It's Haley McClenny out there. Plenty of speed if Davidson can put one in the grass. Inside pitch, another foul ball.
This is an important at-bat here for Valerie Cagle, especially with everything that is going on in this game, it being such a tight game, only up by 1 run. Want to be able to go and attack that hitter.
Davidson, grounder right side. They're going to get the lead runner. Oh, no, it's dropped. Pops out of Ortez's glove, and that was not on the transfer. The base is now loaded for Jessie Warren.
This is just unfortunate. Aubrey Leach, I love it. She goes to 2, the throw's on the money, but Anissa Ortez is just not able to glove this up. And I don't know if it's just because it was that initial, maybe like took her head off it a split second to see the speed up the line. She was going to try to do that double play. It's an ideal situation here for Team Veremo.
Bases loaded for Jessie Warren, the veteran. Warren, Garcia, and Filler, the next 3 up, are a combined 1 for 6 today, but Warren is the one with the hit back in the second. There's basically 80 points on the line right now because the game is up for grabs and this inning is worth 30. 1-1 count here for Warren. This could be the game right here. McQuillan warming in the bullpen. Cagle needs a big out. Rolls that one into home plate for ball 2. Jessie had a walk-off home run in Wichita at AUX earlier this summer. She's driven in 6 runs this championship season, but has not hit a home run yet. 2-2. That's inside and fouls it off her leg.
And this is where, if you're a defender, you're craving the ball right now. Her being a drop ball pitcher, knowing there's a good chance it could be coming to you in the infield.
Another 2-2. Oh, she got her. Big out number 1 for Cagle.
this could not come at a more clutch time for Cagle. She climbs the ladder with the rise ball, almost like an off-speed rise ball. Takes a little something off it. Oof.
Fooled Jessie Warren, and now Rachel Garcia. How about this matchup? Two former National Player of the Year award winners facing off in a massive moment. Garcia off Cagle, oh no. Fisher tags the base, they do not get the double play, but Cagle, she got all of that, and that was ripped off of Garcia's bat. Man. .82 miles per hour off the bat.
Oof.
Man, that is really tough for Valerie Cagle.
I don't even know if I want to watch a replay. Ugh. Wow. Is it like up in the knee?
Oh, maybe a little below. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to see for sure.
Right
Oh,
off the
yeah, it is.
kneecap.
Yep. That's going to be a bruise. I think Sachelle Palacios is going to give her a chance here. McQuillan's getting ready still. I thought originally she maybe motioned that they were going to make a change, but I love this too. We talked a lot about Aubrey Leach in the coaching role, and Sachelle Palacios talking to Aubrey right now. They looked up at the plate. Carly Spade's going to be a pinch hitter for Andrea Filler, so it's a big-time power hitter, and they like the matchup with Cagle. We saw Cora get pulled last night. We thought it might have been too early. What about this move here?
Yeah, I probably would have put Taylor McQuillan in a bit ago, honestly. But that's just me. Maybe they're letting her see this through, or Carly Spade may struggle a little bit with someone that's heavy down in the zone. But after the base hit and probably the base on balls, I might have pulled the trigger and brought McQuillan in.
Not only for Cagle to get out of what was a bases loaded jam with nobody out, but to do so, if she can do it right here after she just got hit with that ball. She jumps ahead of Spade 1-2. Big pitch coming up. 2 on, 2 away, tie game. Big power hitter at the plate. Carly Spade loves to take a big swing. What are you doing here?
Oh, man, I'm climbing the ladder like I did on Jessie Warren. But if I'm climbing the ladder, I'm making sure it's way up, especially at the count, at 1-2 count. But I will say, to combat the power that someone like a Carly Spade has, heavy down is always a good combo. It's tough to elevate a pitch that's down. But that up and in last pitch by Valerie Cagle now potentially opens up that drop ball on the outer half.
Still 2-2. Spade, the pinch hitter, about to see her 7th pitch. And takes it inside. The off-speed freezes her. Cagle gives up 1, but strands a pair.
This is clutch. There's a lot going on in that inning, that situation, but Valerie Cagle steps up big when her team needs her to.
Two and that run in the top of the sixth could be worth 30 inning win points for Team Faremo if Team Palacios cannot respond here in the bottom half. Don't forget the AU Pro Sports Shop is now on Instagram. It's the best way to stay up to date on new arrivals, limited edition items, and our exclusive merch offerings. Head to @AU Pro Shop to follow and connect.
Everyone, we have a bee in the booth. I don't know, Chucky's not going to be able to get through the inning. Can someone come up and get the bee?
We'll be all right. We'll make it.
If I could get over there, I would. Not allergic, just scared.
God, you are killing me up here.
I had to.
Oh my goodness.
Because my husband's the insect guy, and I heard you're not, so I had to make it known.
Making sure we're on the same page up here.
Oh, look at that. Oh. Well done. Well done. Chucky's like a new man. Took a big deep breath.
It wasn't me, I can assure you. It's back to business. 3-4-5 is up in the game. It's Erin Koffel who's 0 for 1. She's been hit by a pitch in both games this weekend. 7 times on the year. Koffel off the end of the bat. Long run for Romero and shields the sun to make the catch. We've talked about it a lot for Faremo. She's been on the wrong side of some really heartbreaking losses in the circle where she's pitched well. This could be one of those that is completely opposite if they can come from behind and win this.
And she stayed consistent as ever. I think that's key to think about regardless of what the score is. She's going out and continuing to hit good corners, quality spots, get ahead of these hitters, be deceptive, and that really is the momentum at times that your team needs to get a run up on the board.
She has retired 8 straight. And jumps ahead of Tori Vidalis 0-2. Tori hit .378 in the condensed AUX season in Wichita, drove in 16 runs. That is just ridiculous. Six top 20 finishes in her Athletes Unlimited career. Her best was back in 2020, the inaugural championship season where she finished 8th. Currently in 6th. Ground ball to Faremo. Quick throw. 9 straight retired.
I don't know if you've already said this, but she's kind of high on my potential MVP list. If they're able to come away with the win, I mean, it's tough to retire 9 in a row, especially. You'll see kind of the adjustments that Team Palacios makes here this second time through the lineup against her, but impressive.
Win or no win, I think you almost, barring like a 5-run inning, but you lose this game 3-2. I mean, against these hitters, it's a good outing.
Sometimes I never know when that comes out how they're going to go with it. Whether we've definitely seen some athletes get those MVP votes and not come out on the winning end. We'll see.
Sachel Palacios actually started the 2-out rally yesterday that saved win points for them. And this is another situation like that. 30 on the line in the game. Team Palacios scored their 2 runs in the 1st and 2nd inning. Faremo in the 3rd and 6th innings. 1-1. It's outside ball 2. The Palacios sisters both listed their dad on their questionnaires. Francisco, who was a really good baseball player in his day, about the impact he's had on them as athletes. They've had family here watching them, and I'm sure no one was happier when Sachel became captain. I'm just wondering if the family was like, look, we know you're taking Charlize, but it needs to be quick. And she got her last week. Wasn't able to do it this week, but swings through it, strike three. Faremo has retired 10 straight batters, and we are all tied up going to the 7th. She's up to 5th place on the leaderboard. Athletes Unlimited Pro Softball is sponsored by the U.S. Air Force. Season winding down, and for some, careers coming to a close. Haley McClenny, one of them. Big night last night for Team Lorenz. Delaney Wiz, one of the heroes in that one, with a 2-run home run early in the game. It's all to play for. 50 points, 60 points on the line here in the 7th inning, tied at 2 apiece by Team Faremo and Team Palacios. Big 6th inning for Team Faremo. It started off with Haley McClenny, but it was the line shot off the ground by Rachel Garcia. Cagle banged up a little bit, and to her credit, came back and got the final out.
Yeah, that was clutch. I'm grateful that it bounced before it hit her, because that really was 80+ miles an hour off the bat of Rachel Garcia, and big time moment for her to stay in that ball game.
Couple innings for Cagle, just the 1 run allowed. That ended up, that play, there was an out recorded. So she comes out for the 7th. 9-1-2 due up for Team Faremo to face off with Taylor McQuillan. Just a workhorse. 3 innings yesterday. She gave up 8 hits, but just 3 earned runs. They did get the win in that game. It was Denham, McQuillan, Cagle yesterday. Today, Masson, Cagle, and McQuillan, and we'll see if Taylor gets the start tomorrow.
And I like bringing her in this situation. It's essentially a 0-0 ball game, right? Like, we're putting it in Taylor McQuillan's hands. A good chunk of innings on the year, 26.
They wanted her, they wanted Morgan DeBoard called out of the box there. Home plate umpire says, nope, she was still in there. Off the handle, Leach calls off Vidalis, 1 out. Team Faremo offensively didn't score yesterday. 2 runs today, just 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. 0 for 6 with 2 outs. Have struggled situationally so far offensively. Sierra Romero, somebody who can change the game with 1 swing of the bat. 2 home runs last week. The only player this season to hit 2 home runs in a weekend. Romero jumps ahead of McQuillan 2-0.
And if you're Sierra Romero, I'm taking all day here. 3 pitches that haven't even seemed close. A walk is as good as a base hit.
There is the walk for Sierra. 10 more points for her on the leaderboard. Runner on for Sis Bates and just 1 out. This is a game with a lot of points on the line right now. 60 win points up for grabs in this tie game, and could very well be a determining factor in who those captains will be come Monday. One 0 to Bates. Shows bunt, gets it down. That's a pretty one, too.
Ooh.
They just get her. She does get 10 points for the sacrifice bunt, and that puts Sierra Romero in scoring position.
This was so good. Such a good bunt by Sis Bates. Palacios makes that quick throw. Oh, this was close. Just got her. This is kind of an ideal situation here, huh? You got Haley McClenny. The bats are dwindling down. She's talked about retiring this year. Like, these are kind of those clutch moments when you can be the difference maker with that winning run on second base.
McClenny just 40 points out of the top 8 right now. She's 1 for 2 today as a sacrifice fly to bring in a run. Back in the 3rd inning. Singled and scored in the 6th. Two-1 inside. McClenny jumped on it, but way foul.
Long strike.
Just 8 All-American awards between Romero and McClenny right now for Team Faremo. Not bad. Inside. 2-out walk from McClenny, 10 points for her, and they keep the line moving for Charlize Palacios, who is more than due right now based on what we've seen from her this season, certainly last week.
Well, and you see Sachel call time to go have that conversation with Taylor McQuillan. Little sis stepping in. If anyone knows her well, it would be her older sister. It's that cat and mouse game that has to be played.
First pitch from McQuillan. Palacios takes a huge cut through it upstairs. First non-pitcher to be selected first in this championship season. Off speed, sits on it, but underneath this into shallow right field. Wiggins communicating with Leach. They strand a pair and they can win it in the bottom half. All tied up, 2-2, bottom of the 7th. Team Palacios can walk it off right here, but Megan Faremo has been absolutely rolling in front of a packed house here in Rosemont. The crowd has been outstanding. Beautiful day for softball, nice breeze coming in. Faremo has retired 10 straight. She's up to 3rd place on the leaderboard. Is looking for her 3rd career complete game. Had 2 last year. One of them was a no-hitter. Look at this. Couldn't ask for a better day right now. Just across the street from O'Hare International Airport. Still one more game to be played. Team Lorenz, Team Kilfoyle coming up next. Urtez, Fisher, Wiggins. There's a lot of at-bats in this league in those 3 bats. Line shot, diving stop by Filler, 1 out.
This was a good grab by Andrea Filler. Not only, I think Claire Davidson would be able to get to this, but if she doesn't, there could be a good chance that potentially gets to the wall and could maybe be a double. So clutch lead out, 1 pitch, 1 out for Megan Faremo.
Talked about the versatility of Filler. We've seen her at shortstop plenty of times in her career, second base. Really good athlete and talented defensive player over there at first base to make that play. Now Sam Fisher.
This is when you start like thinking about potential walk-offs, and that big 3-run home run she had yesterday on that pitch, literally up in her eyes, that she took dead center.
0 for 2 today. Both ground balls, takes that for strike 2. 11 straight retired for Faraimo. Sachelle Palacios, will she be a captain in week 5? This game could decide that. Ground ball left side. Sis Bates, low throw. Filler picks her up.
Right fielder, number 25, Megan Wiggins.
12 straight for Faraimo. And now Wiggins. One for 2 with a single and a run scored today. Watches it for ball 1.
Well, if I'm Megan Faraimo, I don't want to go in if I don't have to. And if I am going in, I'm going way into Megan Wiggins. I'd rather challenge her Oppo Taco power than give her anything in on her hands where she can try to turn on a pitch. And at times, though, those are the things you think about as a pitcher in the moment, knowing one swing can end the game, right? So if there were to be a spray chart of someone like Megan Wiggins, her wheelhouse is definitely on the inner half, and you know that as a pitcher. So it's just being aware situationally of the score, the count.
1-1 count, low, ball 2. There's been 26 home runs hit this season. 7 of them have been hit in the 7th inning. Wiggins has 1 on the season. 2-1 pitch. 3-1. 8-9 were the 2 that combined for the run in the 2nd inning. Wiggins singled, and then Morgan Zirkle hit a triple off the wall. Outside corner, strike 2. Will it be extras in game 1 today? Foul ball.
And even if you're going with anything off speed, I still steer clear of in. She has hit a couple bombs off me on the inner half. Maybe it's just me scarred by that.
I like that personal experience. I mean, it's not for you. I don't like that for you, but I appreciate you bringing it up. Got her on the outside corner. Faraimo has retired 13 straight. She just needs a run right now, and we're going to extras.
How clutch is this? Just owning the outside part of the plate. Gosh, she buzzed this one. Clutch strikeout for Team Faraimo, hoping her team can get her a run.
Two, 5 hits to 4. Team Faraimo, 1 more hit, but they're looking for that run. And the way Megan Faraimo is pitching, you would think 1 run would be plenty. No stat points on the line here. It's just about the game. There are 60 total points up for grabs for the win. And then, of course, MVP points, which you would imagine the hero of this game could get a piece of. Charlize Palacios is at second base. And Claire Davidson will lead things off. She's 0 for 3 today. Shows bunt popped up, and diving catch by Palacios. Picture perfect start to the top of the 8th for Sachelle and company.
Gosh, this is big time if you're Sachelle Palacios, and how clutch. Leadoff outs are huge. Laying it all out there captain doing it herself.
Tried to come out of the glove, too. Sachel with her sister Charlize on second base, showing her she's still got it. That's fouled off by Warren. Sachel's best finish ever was 22nd. She was 47th last year in the championship season. Here she is, second on the leaderboard, and would be in first if they win this game. And defensive MVP, which we've talked about, is a new vote this year. You get 20 points on that, and a catch like that at this stage in the game, you never know. She could, even without the win, could end up in the first spot. Inside ball 2. We've got 3 of the top 4 in this game. Palacios in second, Faremo in third, and Vidalis in fourth. Warren lays off of that pitch, full count. Off the handle, Vidalis in foul territory. 2 outs.
And 2 quick outs. This is just jamming barrels all day. Dang.
Now it's Garcia who hit that ball about 82 miles per hour up the middle off of Valerie Cagle that drove in the run that put us in this position. First time she's seen McQuillan today. 0-1 count. Bounces that one into Palacios, 2-1. Is there a point, it might not be right here, but like for you as a pitcher, is there a point where you got to a hitter and you're like, you know what, there's an open base, I'm good here. 3-1, 3-0, like,
yeah, all
let
the
this
time.
go.
All the time. Obviously, depending on the hitter, you don't want to give her anything too good. 3-1 with that run on second, but it just totally depends on kind of the feeling in your gut as a pitcher in the moment.
McQuillan does get it to full count. There's a big pitch here to Garcia, who has all the power in the world. Fouls it straight back. One kind of rolls in there. Garcia walks. 10 points for her. Not 10 points for her. I got to catch myself there. No stat points and extras. We're good. First and second, 2 away. And it's Andrea Filler. She has had some just high leverage moments at the plate this weekend. Has come up with the bases loaded. Now is at the plate in the 8th inning. 2 on and a tie game. Ball 1 outside. First batter in the inning, Claire Davidson, popped up a bunt attempt trying to put Palacios on third. Warren popped out into foul territory to Vidalis. Off speed, right off the end of the bat. 9-1-2 due up for Team Palacios in the 8th. Question is, how do you get to Megan Faremo, who's retired 13 straight? The good part is you're going to get a runner on base to start, but still. Filler falls behind 1-2. Andrea 0 for 1 yesterday, hit by 2 pitches. Take it any way she can get it right now to extend the inning. She was pinch hit for her last time up. Carly Spade came up to the plate and struck out looking.
Good lights.
Off speed, froze her. McQuillan, job done in the top of the 8th with that runner starting on second.
I almost feel like this is unfair. Oh, you see the body movement of Andrea Filler. Gosh, so good. Team Palacios, loving it.
The good news for Team Palacios going against Megan Faremo, they get the runner on second base, but she's retired 13 straight. The question is, can they find a way to get that runner around and win this game? 60 win points on the line. Megan Faremo has been on the wrong side of heartbreak on a number of occasions this season after exceptional pitching performances. One of them was on opening day. She does not want to do that again today. The 2 runs she gave up to Danielle, first and second inning, hasn't given up anything since then. Megan Wiggins is the runner on second base.
Corners way in. Jessie Warren. And sometimes I'm at that point where it's like, hey, even with the corners in, drop the bunt down. It is a really tough play to get that ball to third base, to apply the tag to Megan Wiggins. I'm not saying that they can't do it, but I challenge that and force them to make that good play over anything.
Warren staying in about halfway up the line. Zirkle slaps it into center field. Wiggins rounding third. They're going to send her, and she's going to score. Team Palacios walks it off, and Sachel stays perfect as a captain.
This kind of is giving me like a storybook ending type feel with just Palacios and continuing to go undefeated, and the right players being able to step up at the right time. Listen, Megan Faremo threw her heart out. To lose on something like that, you cannot hang your head. They were just able to execute Palacios in the moment, and Team Faremo's hitters weren't. And that's realistically what it comes down to. But Morgan Zirkle clutch, 1-1. So good.
Let's take a look at the play of the game presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. What do you think? It's got to be the walk-off, right?
And I mean, that's a pitch that's up and that's elevated, and she finds a way to just barrel that up. So good. Her back control through the zone is like nothing else. And I really actually appreciate her down in the 9 spot. Obviously, infield way in a play like that, but couldn't be more clutch.
4 games remain in Sachel Palacios' career. She is 5-0 as a captain. We've got Savannah on the field with Morgan Zirkle.
Zirkle, show bunt, come through on kind of a slap hit, just popping it through the infield. Take me through that, AB, and being able to be clutch.
Well, I talked to my team before, went up there, and I was like, I know that Megan's going to throw all rise balls. I think I can get on top of it with a slap versus a bunt. And Jessie's a good defender. She's going to be in my face. So just trusted my hands to get on top of it, and it worked.
No matter where you are in the lineup, you always have an opportunity to come through. Talk about how all those moments built up to this one coming through in extras.
Yeah, I feel like I've been having really good at-bats and seeing it, and it was nice to finally come through with an RBI for my team.
This team stays undefeated. What is it about this group that just continues to find a way?
Yeah, I think everyone's really genuine and really encouraging to each other, so I think that gives us confidence, and we're never in panic mode.
You had a little bit of a conversation after the top of the 7th with the group. What was that was said? Maybe it was words from your captain or words from your group that allowed you to step in with confidence.
Yeah, just that we've been here before. Yesterday we scored on us and we punched back twice. So knowing that in those big moments we can come through.
Totally. Thank you, Zorko. Congratulations. I'll let you celebrate. Chucky, back to you.
Thank you, Savannah. Another big win for Team Palacios. Sashel going to be atop the leaderboard, Danielle.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Everything just continues to keep working in her favor, and no doubt she's looking like a good option.
Quick turnaround here. We're back at the bottom of the hour. 18 minutes from now, we'll be back on the air with Game 2, Team Kilfoyle and Team Lorenz. But a thriller in Game 1. Morgan Zirkle and Megan Wiggins, they combined for a huge day for Team Palacios. They walk it off. For Danielle Laurie, Savannah Collins, I'm Chucky Kemp. We will see you soon.